kilowatt worksheet today.
If I traded it all.
So welcome back, everyone. My next guest is a newbie. I love my newbies, and when they're nervous, I get nervous. I have with me, get right up to the mic, I have with me Vivien Enders, and she's the owner and founder of Modern Strategy. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So my name is Vivien Enders, and I'm the owner of Modern Strategy Investments. I am a financial advisor. I was born and raised in Dublin, Ireland, and to put myself through college, I did collections for 10 years. And I have this very distinct memory of this call where this woman, I called her, she was behind on her bill, and basically her husband had passed away and her child as well. And she was not the provider of the household, and she had absolutely no money. And I was putting myself through college and knew at that point that I needed to help people in a different way.
That I would never do that myself, right? Yeah, I'll never do it. But you know what's awesome is that you help both men and women, but women primarily. So you have a lot of women clients, maybe because they resonate with a woman, right? You know, but you also help business owners. And you said one of the things that you wanted to sort of talk about was what financial planning is. I think a lot of people know, but I think I'd like to let you go ahead and answer that. Go ahead, get up to the mic.
Yeah, so financial planning really is a comprehensive roadmap of where you are today and really where you want to be. And I think a lot of us, we have this vague idea in our mind of what we think the future will look like, or retirement, or putting our kids through college, whatever is important to you. And so exactly those pieces of how do we get you from where you are today to being able to accomplish those goals.
So let me get this straight. Financial advisor, as what you, how early do you start with somebody?
You know, it's never necessarily too early to start. I would say most people come to me right around age 40 to 50. A lot of times there's some sort of transition in their life, right? Whether it's they're getting married, divorced, have children, and so something has resonated with them to where they're like, you know, I really want to understand where I'm at and how do I get to where I want to be.
Now, your phone number to call is 480-656-6476. The website is Modern Strategy Investments with an S.com. You do free consultations?
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You have to. You got to get to know people, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's building a relationship of trust.
So let's talk a little bit about some of what you consider the smart investment strategies, let's say for a beginner, which I love. I don't, you know, most of the time when people think about financial financial advisors and working with someone, you have to have a lot of money. Or, you know, it's for people who, yeah, I would say mostly you would think it's a lot of money. But I love the fact that we're going to talk about beginners right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, and I think no matter what age you are, I think sometimes it's just understanding kind of where you want to go, right? So when you're just starting out, really, first and foremost, we're going to take a look at your budget, right? Where are you at with your budget? Do you manage your budget well? Or how about your debt? Let's reduce your debt. Understand what you're paying for and how to get that off your plate. Because if you're not paying credit cards or student loans, that money is able to go somewhere else. So you want to build a good, solid foundation. An emergency fund. Do you have an emergency fund? And the next piece is kind of, all right, let's take a look at company retirement plans. Are you taking advantage of the matches that might be available to you and all the benefits? And having a long-term perspective, right? Because it's not, we're going to be ready to, hit our goal tomorrow. It's, all right, what's our timeline? What's our risk tolerance? Where do we want to be?
So not necessarily talking first about, getting an IRA or doing something more, where are we at right now, yep. Right? And learning how to progress. I think that's what I'm hearing from you. So your top tips for an effective retirement plan is what?
Well, I mean, a lot of the same things, right? So for retirement planning, we want to look at, are we managing our debt effectively. Do we have a budget? What's our savings rate? What's our risk tolerance? What's our time horizon? Because those things all come into play. Are we taking advantage of our company match programs and our 401ks? And really educating people on what's available to them.
Right. And some people don't even realize that, and not everybody does have a company. More people now are owning their own businesses. So can you help with them too?
Absolutely, right? What kind of retirement program is going to suit you best? How can you put the most money away? And what sort of retirement plan is going to be most effective for you?
Okay. So when you work with people, you had mentioned a lot of times, sometimes it's a lot of a divorcees, women who are divorced. Why is that?
So I think when we're, as a woman who has been divorced, there's a lot of intricate pieces that go into it. And I think everybody's situation is so personal, right? Did you work? Did you not work? Were you at home taking care of the kids? So what are you entitled to, and what are, how can you best protect yourself in that situation while still planning for the future at the same time, and making sure that you can take care of your family? And so taking all of those pieces, and it's like a big puzzle. And
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of puzzles. So I love being able to take all the pieces and say, okay, let's look at everything that you have, or that, your ex-spouse might have had. What are you entitled to? How can we make this work to your benefit, and making sure that you're still going to be able to take care of yourself moving forward?
Something that happens a lot is when people get married, a lot of times it's the man who is taking care of that. Now you don't know anything. Some people don't even know, it used to be, well, I will tell you, my father never thought my mother knew anything, but she always made him think he didn't. And that was really big for her, right? And then when push came to shove and something happened to him, and he was like telling me, go in there and make sure you do this, that, and the other thing. When I came in, it was all done. And I thought that was really cool. But here's the thing, folks. Listen up. There's a lot of us who don't know, and that's the problem. That is a big, huge problem. And then all of a sudden now you get yourself, let's say you're in a divorce situation. That's the worst. Now, even more so, do you need to talk to someone like Vivien to help you? Because now you might even be starting from scratch. I know I did when I got my divorce, and I had to figure it out on my own. And there's still more always to learn. It just doesn't end with one little piece, right?
No, your financial plan is a roadmap, right? And so the thing about life is there's always things that come up, and there's always roadblocks or situations in which you've got to be able to adjust. And that's the idea behind it.
And having somebody that can help you, that's educated, that can teach you, because that's the big part of it right there.
Yeah.
Getting educated on some of the things to do that help you have peace of mind when you get down to it. Again, that phone number to call, it's 480-656-6476, Modern Strategy Investments with an S.com. She does free consultations. And right now we're coming up to a time where a lot of people are spending money, right? But it might be a good idea to have that conversation before you go out to the malls, before you start spending on Amazon and all of that. It's so easy to do.
Oh, yes.
Right?
The Amazon bill.
Yeah. Or other things. And please make sure that you do get yourself into a better position. I think that's the main thing. I think some people think they are, but they don't really know everything to do.
Well, I think we get nervous, right? And sometimes a lot of people want to see a financial advisor less than they want to see their dentist.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you something. It's all about money, so you really should be more excited. Especially, I like the fact that you're talking about beginners, too. We start off with, you work with everybody, I'm sure. But the fact that you work with beginners, I like that, because there's a lot of people out there, even older folks like me, maybe that got a divorce later on in life. And still, that's even worse, because more than likely, you didn't do anything, right? You didn't take care of all the bills and all of that, right?
A lot of times, yeah.
What's the difference between, for women in financial planning?
There are several differences for women. A lot of times with marriage or divorce, right? Also look at careers. Women tend to get paid less than men, which can impact their Social Security at the end of the day. Understanding how to optimize your Social Security, when's the best time to take it, Also, women can be out of the workforce, right? We tend to be caregivers. And so if we've taken time off, how does that really impact all of the pieces? And we live longer.
Really quickly, what questions did someone ask when you're talking to a financial advisor such as yourself?
Oh, well, questions to ask. Are you fiduciary? How do you get paid? How often will you contact me? Things like, what are your credentials?
Are you a fiduciary?
I am, yes.
That's important. I wish I would have known before. I would have said it more time. It's important because she's looking out for you.
Yeah, we want to have your best interest. It needs to be ahead of my own.
Well, I'll tell you something, folks, right now, whether you're a woman or a man, beginner or not, this is especially when we're in a time like we are right now, it is so important that we do take care of our finances, take hold of them. Her phone number to call direct, it's 480-656-6476. It's modernstrategyinvestments.com. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a minute.